Welcome to Straight Outta Jersey. Today's podcast is brought to you by Ace Sunglasses. Go to acesunglasses.com.au to purchase some of the best shades around. Use promo code.
What's up, guys? We are live. It is Tuesday, and we are down to the Final Four. We're going to recap the playoff football, and it's a weird week, actually, of football. But before that, let's hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We also got a couple shows coming up. Diz and Los are coming out. D-Los, yep. Right? That's coming up. Debuting
Diz and Los.
That's coming out, too. Like and subscribe to the Zapata brand podcast. My brother George is going to have Teddy Atlas, Jim Lampley, I think, is coming on
next week. Yep.
Next week, right? All right, so let's introduce the team. We got Tom TD Davis on the bottom.
Hey, good to be back on.
All right, Chino, the professional. What's up?
What's up?
And then my brother, Coach Diz. What's going on?
What up?
All right, guys. So let's talk. We got the Final Four for playoff football, and this was a weird week because you know that the losers outscored, first time in history, the losers outscored the winners in yardage. All of them.
Oh, they outgained. Yeah, they outgained them.
Outgained them in yardage. It was the first time in history. Let's start with the Texans and Chiefs. The Chiefs beat the Texans 23-14. Texans scored 336 yards compared to 212 from the Chiefs. And let me tell you something. The Texans should have won, but the penalties in that game and that call on Mahomes was ridiculous.
Now, do you happen to have the yards on penalties or no?
No, but there were two big ones which were just really bad.
Yeah.
And the penalties were really what cost them. And the ones with Mahomes, like I said, was ridiculous. I mean, they give him everything. We'll see what happens. But Diz, what do you think about the game, the Chiefs and the Texans?
I thought the Texans were going to, win the game. I picked them to win. I did say it was going to be a harder game, tough game for the Chiefs. It was a little tough for them. I just think that maybe, I don't think they utilized Joe Mixon that much, and I don't know if Nico Collins was utilized as much until the second half. When you're going against the Chiefs, you need to just play no penalties. You have to play, to a T perfect. You can't give them any type of inch, and that's what happened. They gave them a couple inches and they took them, And when you go against the referees too. Yeah. There's nothing you can do. The one thing I did not like is they kept on showing Taylor Swift again with Caitlin Clark. Come on, we don't need to see that anymore. Thank God next year, Travis Kelce's going to retire at the end of this year, and then we don't have to see that.
Is that official? He's going to retire?
No, but I'm just saying. Hopefully.
Okay, well, we'll see. Speaking of Taylor Swift, TD, what do you think of the game? I know you're a Swiftie fan.
Whoa, TD, you a Swiftie?
Yeah, I love Taylor Swift. It was a good game. I mean, out of those four, it was probably like the least fun to watch, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans have been kind of like on and off this whole year, but they gave them a good fight. It's just the Chiefs can just beat you in so many different ways.
Yep, exactly. You can't do anything. Chino, what'd you think of that Texans Chiefs game?
They were hanging in there in the beginning, and then the Chiefs defense and then the refs helping out the Chiefs. It just it was gonna happen. I called it, so the reigning champs. They're the reigning champs for a reason, right?
Yeah. Yep. So the Chiefs are going forward. Then the next game was we also had the Commanders and Lions. The Commanders beat the Lions 45-31, and huge. The Lions scored over 521 offensive yards and lost. That's kind of crazy. And I feel bad for the Lions because now that team is probably going to be broken up. They're already going to lose the one coordinator, right? Ben Johnson.
Yeah. Chicago.
Yep. And then we also got Aaron Glenn may go to the Jets. Who knows? I don't know.
They're not letting them leave that facility, they said.
Well, let's see what happens. But the Lions are going to be a totally different team next year. This was their shot, I think. And this was they're going to have a long off season. Commanders played well, man. They are the shocking team. Tom, you picked them to win, and you said they were going to win. And I was like, I don't know about that. So, Tom, what do you think about the game?
Yeah, I mean, the Commanders are just they've been sneaky all year. I think at this point, you have to give them respect, and they're playing with nothing to lose. So they're just they're a fun, exciting team, and that's exactly what happens when you get a franchise quarterback, rookie right out of the gate.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
They also just killed Ben Johnson's couple of those play calls, like having Jameson Williams throw that.
Yeah,
that's kind of on Jameson Williams, but just like leaving that up to chance was risky. So that's
pretty crazy. Chino, what'd you think of that game? That was
it was a good game, man, by Jaden Daniels, the whole team, the defense. The Detroit was doing good, man. They were moving the ball. Like it's Jaden Daniels is like on another level with all the rookie QBs, man. He's just like calm, collective. He gets it done. He's not, he doesn't rush things. His play is just speaking. The way he's playing is just showing you like how right their franchise did in picking and making the move, picking the right QB, man. Imagine the Giants got Jaden Daniels and never let go of Saquon Barkley. Imagine that.
Yeah,
that's all I hear. That's all I hear. That's all I'm hearing now. They're like, look what you guys did.
Yep.
You guys let go of Saquon Barkley and passed on Jaden Daniels. Imagine a year ago we didn't do that and we kept them both on the team. We kept Saquon and we signed Jaden Daniels.
But what could we have signed Jaden Daniels? No, he went 2, right?
2, yeah. He won the Heisman. Like he looked a lot like he did last year at LSU, except he was throwing to like Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. So you didn't really know if he was like that for real but clearly he's like
yeah. Dean, what did you think of the game?
Disappointing. I picked the Detroit Lions to go to Super Bowl. So I was very high on them. I think it was a trap game. Like Chino said last week, could have been a trap game. Couple things. Jamar Gibbs, top running back. He is RB1, for all of fantasy. I think I would pick him number 1. That's who I would get. The defense, the Lions, they're so hurt in the defense and in the secondary. So I think James Daniels was just picking them apart. The coach, the Commanders, they just go for everything on 4th down. Doesn't make a difference how far they are. They'll go for it. And when you have Jaden Daniels and we have Austin Eckler, you have Scary Terry on the outside, you get one more good receiver. That's a scary team. That is a scary team. And I don't know. I don't know if TD, you saw this. I know I was talking to Jay-Z and Los before. But Jaden Daniels does this virtual training every morning when they load the plays up. The defense, the coordinators load all the plays up. And it's like virtual of what the game plan is going to be, what the defense might run at him. And I think that's taken his game to a next level. He did it last year, I think, for the first time with LSU, and his stats just went off the chart. And I think that's one of the new things that a quarterback has to learn. I mean, that's a good tool to use. And if it's working so well for Jaden Daniels, then, I think every other team needs to look into that.
Yeah, except the Jets. They'll fuck that up. They'll fuck up AI somehow, no matter what it is. Jets will fuck up something.
They'll give them goggles instead of
goggles, and they'll be looking at the moon and shit. Then we got the Eagles and Rams. Eagles beat the Rams 28-22. That was, it wasn't a great game, but I mean, the only 3 big runs was Barkley had 2 big runs, and then Hurts had the touchdown. That was it. That was really all the offense. It wasn't a lot. But the Eagles, obviously, with Barkley, can do a lot of damage. I think they might have a little problem. I think the Eagles, when they, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure with the Eagles, though. I think they might run into a little wall, but we'll see. D, you're in the PA. What'd you think of the Eagles?
So about the first quarter when he did that big run, I got a text from one of my employees saying, oh, thank you, just thanking me every day. Then he said if they do go to the Super Bowl and they do win, the Giants get a little ring for it. We get a little something, a little pin or something. So as good as Barkley was, as good as Hurts was, the Rams still had a chance to win that game at the end. And I think that's the thing that you're saying, that they might run into a wall. It was home against the Rams, who don't play outside in the cold. It was snowing. So I think that threw it off a little bit. It just shows you, Matthew Stafford is a good time manager quarterback. He can, he's seen every defense. So it's going to be hard to beat a NFL veteran like that. And, the Eagles did. I didn't see Cooper get involved until later on in the game. I know Puka dropped a couple key drops to get first downs. But, the fumble from Williams, 2 fumbles, huge. huge. And I think that's the main reason why they lost. So the Rams shot themselves in the toe. So next week, Eagles need to be on point because Jalen Daniels and the Commanders are coming.
Yep, they are. Chino, what'd you think of that game, the Eagles Rams?
It was a good game. You know, the Rams, you know, stood in there, you know, doing their thing. The defense, they have a young defense. Jared Verse, he's crazy, man. He's a good player.
Hold on for 1 second. Jared Verse is from Berwick, Pennsylvania. He played over here. That was from George. George told me that. Then he went to
he's going to be an exciting player to watch in the future for the Rams, man. And another thing, you know, being the Rams, how they started the season, losing Puka, losing Cooper, and like, you know, they were like, everyone was like casting them out, like, oh, they're not gonna make it this year, you know. For them to get to the divisional and do what they did, you know, I tip my hat off to them, to Stafford and the team. The Eagles, again, you know, Saquon, man. Saquon is the X factor there. And, you know, I don't want to see it. But you know, it's pretty much pretty much going to be the rematch. I think it's going to be the Chiefs and the Eagles.
We'll see. Tom, what do you think?
One thing with Barkley, and I'll say this: I don't know if anybody noticed. Did he have like a brace on his left hand? Didn't he hurt his hand? And I thought I saw it all taped up when he was in an interview with Hurts on the field after it. He was avoiding the camera looking at it, so I think he might be hurting his hand.
I don't know. I didn't notice it. Tom, what'd you think of that Eagles Rams?
Oh, it was like a classic snow game. Started off like the weather didn't look like a factor, and then it just progressively got worse. It was awesome. Yeah, I mean the Eagles just took advantage of Hurts and Saquon's running ability, and you know, it kind of the weather played right into their hands. So,
and you mentioned the weather. You said the weather was going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think if it didn't snow, and you think the Rams would have actually made it a game, like, and pulled it off?
Yeah, I don't think that he would have fumbled. I don't.
You think the snow made it? That's what called the game right there. The snow, because it snowed. The Eagles.
I think so. Ask me personally. I think that it was the cause of the Rams losing.
Well, maybe. Then the game
just to say, how does Puka doesn't drop balls? He doesn't drop there, man. And he was dropping it, slipping right out of his hands. You know, so I think that was the weather had something to do with it.
Yep. And then the weather, obviously, Bills Ravens was a game everyone was waiting for.
Oh my God,
that was a game that Ravens are going to be kicking themselves all this offseason because the Ravens didn't do much the first half. Buffalo defense did really great, but then they made some adjustments. They came back in the second half. Lamar, though, I don't know what was wrong with him. He didn't run a lot. Lamar did not run a lot.
That was such a good game, man.
He only ran like 6 times, I think, compared to normally. And then, you know, it went back and forth. Allen, the big drop, you know, Mark Andrews, who's one of the best tight ends in the league, you know, one of the top. He drops he fumbles, and then the 2-point conversion. And that he doesn't miss. I mean, 99% of the time he catches that ball.
But I feel like that has happened before with him. That happened before then, right?
Last year during the season. It was just a game.
No. Didn't it happen with the same player?
They went for 2.
But in a playoff,
I think it did happen 2 years ago. I think
in a playoff, right?
I don't remember it happening with him though. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
I think it did.
Tom, you remember it happening with him before?
He definitely had something. He had an awful like first half of this year. Like he didn't score or do anything for half the year. That was another like great game. I mean, Lamar Jackson looked freezing. He didn't have gloves on, so that might have been a kind of he fumbled in the first quarter or second quarter.
He did. Yep. And I think the Ravens are going to be really and Mark Andrews actually got fined because he didn't even stay around for the game to meet the press. He took off. And
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either.
And he just took off, and he got fined a big amount of money apparently for doing that. You can't do that. And you know, that's going to haunt him for a little while, you know. So
you feel bad for a guy like that, man. Mark Andrews is a good ball player, man, and like for him to be in the spotlight like that, and like to like, because he caused that fumble, man, and you know that would have been the redemption right there.
Yep.
And then when he dropped it, I was like, dude, you had it, dude.
Yep.
Oh, really such a killer, man. Such a brutal loss, man. Brutal loss from.
Now that would have just tied the game. They still had to stop Buffalo, and I don't think they were stopping Buffalo. Buffalo was, really I think Josh Allen will take it into his hands when it's time to like really, when it comes down to it, He'll get those yardage and passes to Shakur because Shakur, what do you have, like 10 catches? He was all over the place.
Yeah, he was all over the place. So now that leads us to the final, 4 that we're going in, and now Bills Chiefs, right? I want the Bills to win. I don't know if they will, but I really think they can because they beat the Chiefs during the season, right? They beat them during the regular season already.
Yeah, it was after they got whooped by Baltimore, so they were pumped.
So they're playing in Buffalo.
Yeah, they played at Buffalo.
They're playing in Buffalo.
No, they're playing in Kansas City.
Playing in Kansas City. This one's playing in Kansas City. So this is going to be tough. So going to Kansas City and beating them in Kansas City, that's going to be really tough. I hope they win, but I don't know. I'm going to pick the Chiefs, even though I want the Bills to win. What about you, D? What do you think?
I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. All right. Well, Buffalo
and
Bills.
I'm going to say this. I think it might be a blowout.
Really?
I think Josh Allen's going to go ham.
Really?
Wow.
But
He has to. He's lost to them the last 3 years in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
3.
The NFL script will not let that happen, bro.
Now, let me just tell you this. I know. Now, you know how they were saying, the Super Bowl pictures look like the teams? You know what this year's is? It's red and gold.
Really?
Commanders.
Oh, wow. Commanders.
And it's been right on for the last 5 years.
Wow. So, Chino, who do you got? Bills or Chiefs?
You at this point right now, I didn't think it's going to be the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they have home field advantage and they have the refs on their pocket.
They do. It's got to be the Chiefs.
That's one. And you got Philly. It's going to be the rematch, the Super Bowl rematch.
All right. TD, what do you think? Bills, Chiefs.
So the weather for this one, 22 degrees, no snow though expected, just cold.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs win by like a point and 24-23 or something. But if I was like betting on it, I would take the Bills +2.
Oh, it's 2. Okay.
Yeah. So I just think there's a lot more advantage. And I don't know. It's either going to be a 1-point game or it could be a total blowout. I feel like these games have been like all relatively pretty good, and usually the NFL is like due for a stinker after. So
then that brings us to the Commanders and Eagles, and I gotta tell you, I guess I'm bought in with the Commanders now. I don't know why, because after they beat the Lions, I was shocked with that. So I'm going to think the Commanders might beat the Eagles. What do you think, B?
What
do you think?
I gotta go Eagles.
Ooh, you're gonna go Eagles, huh? Fly.
I gotta go. I don't want to do it, but I gotta go Eagles. Just overall, if you go position, they're a better team. Position by position. Yep.
Chino, who do you think? You're gonna go with your Eagles? That's you think the rematch, huh?
Not my Eagles, but that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be the rematch. Eagles, Chiefs.
Yo, Dizzy Willow says yo, and Bill Mann says Chiefs 24-20 over the Bills. Well, let's see. Tom, who do you think? Eagles or Commanders?
I think the Eagles win straight up, but again, with the points, I would take the Commanders because I just think these teams are all, they're all so good that if you're just going to give teams points, that though the weather is supposed to be 40 degrees.
Oh, nice.
So at 3:00, it's a 3:00 game, 40 degrees.
Wow.
They've only played each other once in the playoffs, 1991 apparently. So Washington won that. But the thing with the Commanders this year is no rookie quarterback has ever led his team to the Super Bowl. So that would be like a first.
That would be your first time, right? Wow.
Didn't Ben Roethlisberger or no?
No, they were 15-1, but they didn't. I think it was the second year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think Ben was the second year. So then if we have to pick a Super Bowl winner going around the horn, I mean, for me, I guess right now, I mean, I don't want to say it, but I think the Chiefs might win it, even though I'm pulling for the Bulls. That's the Bills. That's what I want. The Bills all the way. But I think the Chiefs going to finally win the Super Bowl again. I think they got the refs in their pocket. Tom, who do you pick Super Bowl winner?
Yeah, if you had to pick one, it'd be the Chiefs because
Chiefs. Okay.
Barring any injuries, so everyone stays healthy.
Yep.
That's another thing. Is Jalen Hurts hurt? Is his knee hurt?
I don't know.
I know it got hurt. He was in a brace at halftime. So
Really?
yeah, he didn't have a brace on his knee before the half, and then when he came back, he had a brace underneath his uniform.
And his post-game interview was pretty funny. He sounded like he was like
hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on something. He was on something.
Wow.
He was on a little Percocet or something, right?
Yeah, a little irks. But I personally, Chino, you didn't pick, right?
I didn't pick yet. I want to see
ahead.
what you're to pick. So the rematch happens, right? Saquon does Saquon things and says, "You know what? I'm getting my Super Bowl ring."
That will be a nightmare for you Giants fans if he gets a ring.
If the Eagles take the Super Bowl over the Chiefs.
Okay. All right, D.
Hey, I think if you get Barkley in that game, he's going off.
150 yards.
He's going to go off.
TD.
He's going to go off, and I just don't think they'll be able to stop him. So I think
Eagles.
Yep.
So me and Tom got Chiefs. You two got the Eagles. Okay, that's gonna be the one. I have it written down so we can come back because it's gonna be.
I just think I think this. I hope it's not because I really don't want the Eagles there, but I think the stage is going to be too big for Jaden Daniels. I know he played LSU national. I know he's been all. I just for some reason I just think he's going to take. He's going to take a little drip in his game this week.
I want the Bills to win because they haven't won it, so I want the Bills all the way. Josh Allen, who I think,
and another thing, the Super Bowl is on it's Barkley's birthday.
What, February 9th?
Yep.
Wow, I did not know that. That's an interesting fact.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
February 9th is his birthday, and
February
so
9th.
he's going to go off.
Wow. So, all right. That's what we got for this week. I don't know. Anything to talk about the Jets, who they're going to hire, any coaches that we got going on? Ben Johnson went to the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Bears?
He should have went to the Raiders. I thought there was reports he was going to the Raiders.
Yeah, I guess Tom Brady didn't like after calling the game, I guess he didn't want to hire him.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
He was calling the game. So he was calling that. This is crazy how
and I don't like how they can talk to your coaches during the playoffs. It has to be after. There has to be something because it takes your mind off of that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Did Flores sign with anybody?
No, I don't think so.
No. I saw someone, the former Saints coach, Dennis Allen, went somewhere. Where'd he go?
I think he's going to be the Bears defensive coordinator.
Maybe, yeah. I think that's where he's going to go.
And I know who went to Patriots. He used to be the coach of the Raiders.
Del Rio? No, not Del Rio.
Oh, McDaniels?
Yeah, McDaniels went back for the offensive coordinator or something.
That's kind of big, man.
For the Patriots?
For the Patriots? That's big.
They're getting their old team back.
McDaniels?
And Variable?
And Jets, we haven't got anyone yet, right?
No, but I was reading something that they said that a lot of the NFL scouts and executives think Rodgers is going to retire.
Really?
Yeah.
I keep seeing an Instagram post that Mike Tomlin's gone. I don't know why that they fired him, or
that's
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why they keep saying. I'm like, what is that? Tomlin gone. I'm like, no, he ain't going anywhere. I think that he signed. He's going back another year.
They're also saying, I've been reading on social media, they're saying that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to re-sign Justin Fields and then draft a quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, I did see that. Because Russell Wilson and Fields are free agents.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Hopefully that happens.
Yeah. And Aaron Glenn's not going anywhere to the Jets? He's not going to Jets, they said?
No, they're not letting him out of the facility. The Jets said they're not going to let him out.
Yeah, I think he's the favorite at this point. And the GM might be like a former Lion former Commander, but he was with the Lions for like 25 years. I don't know. I don't really know much about the GM guy, but
okay. All right. Well, that's what we got for this week, guys. I mean, so next week we'll have you down to the final two.
Yep.
We'll go from there and see what the picks are, and hopefully it'll be either the Chiefs or the Eagles, one of the others. All right, guys, like and subscribe. Talk to you guys next week, guys.
All right, guys. Later. Peace out. Professionals.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.